Hey everyone, thank you for joining us today at Stoneridge Connect. Our session will cover optimizing your advanced warehouse with some quick tips and tricks, which we will cover with some low-code and no-code options. Our agenda for today, we will start off with introductions of our presenters, then we will dive into optimizing your advanced warehouse with some information on mobile device steps, including a more in-depth section on data inquiry, and then we will discuss the warehouse implementation tasks workspace before finally ending the session with a lightning round where we'll cover some easy victories. For your presenters today, my name is Chris Thiele. I'm an associate consultant with a focus on supply chain management. I have 1 year of ERP implementation experience in the agriculture and food industries, and then over 3 years of CRM implementation experience across various industries. And today I'm presenting with Shannon Perko.
Thanks, Chris. I'm Shannon, and I'm a senior consultant here at Stoneridge Software with, again, also a focus on supply chain management within D365. I've got over 6 years of ERP implementation experience across various industries and have a focus on advanced warehousing, production control, and inventory management within the product. So I'm going to dive right into our first tip and trick for you of mobile device steps. So mobile device steps are a really robust way that you can control how your mobile device looks without involving a developer or custom code. The goal of everything we're going to look at here is going to be to add clarity for your mobile device users, as well as streamline their process. So once you enable mobile device steps, the first thing you are going to get from Microsoft out of the box is detailed step instructions. So as you can see here in the screenshot, on our purchase receive menu item, the user is now given some detailed instructions of how to actually complete this step on the mobile app. You can take it one step further and go ahead and actually modify how that text looks, as well as the step instructions right from that mobile device step option. In addition to that, you can also enable promoted fields through mobile device steps. So a lot of these menu items are going to have extra clutter, extra fields that are maybe not useful for your business. Through promoted fields, you can hide those extra fields, rearrange, and even highlight up to 2 fields to really call them out to the user that these are the important ones you need to focus on. Last but not least, mobile device steps allow us to set up detours. These let us navigate out of our menu item into another one, saving our place with where we are at on that current menu item. Chris is going to show us a detailed example of that one in just a minute. But to enable all of this setup, you're going to follow the path listed on the screen, opening the mobile device steps screen. When you first open that page, it's going to be blank. So you're going to want to press Create Default Setup. This is going to pull in every step you can complete on the mobile device with Microsoft's default step instructions. You can go ahead and make modifications here, which would be at the global step level, or you can go ahead and press this Add Step Configuration, which allows you to add an override at a particular menu item level. So again, this can either be done at a global level or for an individual menu item. So just from this brief overview, you can see there's a ton of use cases where this would be applicable. And one of the cool ones is using a data inquiry detour. So I'm going to turn it over to Chris to teach us how to set one of those up.
All right, so now that Shannon has discussed mobile device steps, let's take a look at one in action. So many times warehouse workers may lose track of if they've scanned an item or not, and they need the ability to look at these items that have already been scanned without interrupting what they're currently working on. So with this data inquiry mobile device step, we're able to produce a handy screen on the mobile app that allows the worker to view what items are outstanding on the current purchase order being worked on, and even entering quantities against those purchase order lines. So to do this, a data inquiry menu item will be set up with a detour on the purchase receive screen, and that will allow the user to navigate to the purchase order and view the lines they're working on. This item can be seen in the screenshot on the right with the PO remaining quantity button at the bottom. In order for this to be possible, there will be some configuration that we'll need to set up. So first we can navigate to the mobile device menu item screen within the warehouse management module, where we can create a new menu item labeled PO remaining quantity with a data inquiry activity code. Next, on this menu item, we'll need to edit the query for passing the PO number back through the screens And then we will also need to edit the field list setup to select what fields we want to show on the screen in the app. So as you can see in the screenshot at the bottom, we have selected the purchase order ID, item name, quantity ordered, and quantity registered. Once our menu item is set up, next we can navigate to the mobile device steps in the warehouse management module where we can set up our step configuration. So first we'll need to add the step configuration with the purchase receipt menu item, and for the detour we'll need to select the PO remaining menu item that we set up earlier. Next, within that detour, we'll need to select the fields we want to send. In the screenshot on the right, we've added the purchase order to send from the purchase receive screen, and we've added the item to bring back from the PO remaining screen. So once this is all done and set up, now we can take a look at how this looks within the app. So first we'll need to set up a purchase order. So here I have a purchase order with 2 lines on it. We have 1 line for 100 6-foot HDMI cables and 1 line for 100 12-foot HDMI cables. So to navigate to this and for the worker to use it, we can go within the mobile app and we can click into the purchase receive screen within the inbound menu. And once we type in and select our purchase order number, we can see we have the new PO remaining quantity option at the bottom. So if we were to click into that, then we can now see the 2 purchase order lines for the 6-foot and 12-foot HDMI cables. And we can also see the quantity registered on these lines. So if the worker wanted to simply click into one of these lines and register 50 cables, then they can easily click into one of these options and go ahead and register them. And then if they come back to this screen, it'll show them the quantity registered. So this makes it super easy for the worker to keep track of which items they have already scanned in and how many against the specific purchase orders that they're working on. And they can do this all from the same screen. So it's pretty handy for the workers who have to use this every day. And now I'll pass it back over to Shannon, who will discuss the warehouse implementation tasks workspace.
Thanks, Chris. As he mentioned, we're going to take a look at one of the out-of-the-box Microsoft workspaces that can be super helpful for setting up a new advanced warehouse. As we all know, there are a lot of tasks and a lot of detail that goes into getting a new advanced warehouse configured. So this workspace is actually a to-do list built right into the system to assist you with setting up that new advanced warehouse. Right on this workspace, you can set up one or many projects to track how are we doing on setting up these new advanced warehouses. You can see the metrics right here, and you can easily flip between those projects, again, to just see how you're progressing. This might seem like a daunting task to go ahead and populate an entire to-do list of how to set up a new advanced warehouse. So luckily, Microsoft offers us a default task list. We can import this list and then modify it to meet our business's unique requirements. So we can move tasks around, add them, remove them, or even add more detail. Each one of these tasks is going to include instructions and in a lot of cases, a link to the actual page where you're going to go ahead and set up whatever needs to be completed as part of this task. Multiple people can work on this list and mark their tasks as completed as they go. So again, this is just a great way to track progress and do it right in the ERP where you're actually setting up those new advanced warehouses. So now we're going to hit you with some quick wins in our lightning round with some easy victories related to setting up a new advanced warehouse or just an advanced warehouse in general.
All right, so our first easy victory is replenishment work. So these are the refill policies and procedures for order fulfillment. Within Advanced Warehouse, we can set up 2 of the most common methods for replenishment using the replenishment templates. And these methods are min-max replenishment, which is a method of replenishing the inventory based on predefined minimum and maximum levels for each item and location. And then there's also wave demand replenishment, which creates replenishment work for outbound orders or loads if the inventory isn't available when the wave creates work. So these replenishment templates are an easy way to automatically create work and handle these types of replenishment methods. And then next will be warehouse groups. So rather than setting up location directives or wave templates for just one warehouse or all warehouses, warehouses can be added to warehouse groups. And so this just makes it much easier to account for directives or templates that maybe need to apply to some warehouses, but you don't want them to apply to all of them or just one.
Thanks, Chris. Our next easy victory is going to be default label printers. So often you have a mobile device that maybe sits in a particular area in the warehouse. Previously, you could only define a default label printer at the user or location level. As of update 10.0.41, you can now do that at the mobile device level. So now someone who works in the receiving department with their receiving mobile device can print right to the receiving label printer rather than having to walk all around the warehouse or try to change their printer on the fly. Last but not least is the work creation history log. So I think a lot of us forget that this exists because it automatically turns off after 1 week. So the work creation history log tracks if work was created successfully, and then if it wasn't, it tracks that reason for failure. So at the beginning of your implementation, this can be really useful for someone to have a calendar reminder to go and turn this back on so you can track your work template setup, location directive setup, all that good stuff, just to see where it's successful and where it's failing. Through everything we've seen today, we've seen a lot of really great ways to go ahead and optimize your advanced warehouse setup, whether it's a new implementation or you're just trying to make some enhancements to your current advanced warehouse. Hopefully you've gotten some really helpful tips and tricks today as we covered mobile device steps, a detailed example with a data inquiry detour, the warehouse implementation tasks workspace for setting up new advanced warehouses and tracking that progress, as well as our 4 quick wins to see some value right away with the system with very minimal setup. So thank you all for attending today and enjoy the rest of Stone Ridge Connect.
Thanks, everyone.